and a second later I heard another squeaky board in the stairs creak. Then another. "Good night, Daddy," I exclaimed once more, so certain it was him. Once again no reply, and the footsteps ceased. Being the level-headed kid I was, I thought nothing of it. Another creak changed my mind about that. I knew there were 13 stairs. I then realized that was the 5th one. If he were to have gone back down, wouldn't I have heard his steps as he descended? Another creak closer to the top. "Daddy?" I asked in a questioning voice. No reply, yet this time the footsteps didn't stop. No. They seemed faster, in between harder. Creak. 7. "Daddy?" I asked as I became more frantic. Creak. Creak. 9. 10. Then they stopped again. I was terrified and curious both at the same time. Nearly in tears, I asked a final time, "Daddy, is that you?" Silence was the only reply. I heard another stair begin to creak, this time very close to the top. Then another very slow creak. 12. 13. From where I was laying and how my bed was set up, I could clearly see down to the other end of the hall. To the right of the stairs was a window bringing in a bluish light from outside. It was then that I first saw it. It seemed to float from the top of the stairs as it blocked out most of the eerie light coming from the window. It was a tall, black, partially transparent figure with a hood or veil. I couldn't be sure which. It seemed to stop and stare at me, though it did not seem to have eyes. Almost as if it knew I could see it. I kept my gaze locked on it for a minute or so. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. I was paralyzed with fear. It was then I did what any other child my age would do. I dove into the safety of my sheets. As I gathered my head, I reassured myself what I just saw was just a figment of my imagination. Then I heard them again. Slow at first. Growing closer. Creak, creak, creak. My dad came up right after this. I didn't tell him what happened. I kept a lot of what I saw to myself, even though I was terrified. I just didn't want everyone to think I was crazy. Not long after my encounter with the dark figure on the stairs, I moved to another room upstairs with my brother. I still heard the occasional footsteps on the stairs as well as pounding and scratching on the walls, so I started sleeping with a night light. My brother wasn't so fond of it though, and unplugged it constantly. I was never as glad as when he moved to his own room. Or so I thought. I was so happy to have a room to myself that I forgot all about the freaky things that happened regularly in that godforsaken house. A few weeks went by and I got